It's one of the most widely used teaching tools at school districts across the country, from New York to Miami, Chicago, and Los Angeles.
Generation of iPad kids and iPad schools.
Is an edtech software program that promises to accelerate student growth. But a growing number of parents are pushing back.
It's basically the TikTokification of education. It is simplistic, short form, brain rot.
Listen to school board meetings, and it's a common hot topic.
In terms of iReady, I have yet to hear a positive comment from the impact of iReady.
Critics say little is known about whether the tech really works. It requires kids to spend more time on screens and has become so ubiquitous.
Yeah, I thought that was the opposite of what
K through 12 public school districts nationwide.
I thought that was the opposite of what we were supposed to be doing.
For a third of a generation, it is the status quo.
iReady, which is produced by private equity-backed company
Of course it is.
Associates, says it helps teachers spot students who are falling behind before they take state standardized tests, which can impact school funding. And that the program offers personalized reading and math questions tailored to students based on their responses.
They're not mindlessly scrolling on socials and things of that nature. They are literally learning something.
Curriculum Associates Chief Impact Officer Ty Holmes also says it's an important resource for teachers who are already stretched to the limit.
They've got to have tools to support them with the diverse needs that show up in a classroom.
I like how he says they need tools for the diverse needs they have because they need them so badly now, right? We've never needed them before. Like, we've had generations of people who are geniuses who have grown up in public school systems and have been totally fine without having software on a computer or a tablet that is now the main source of teaching, right? We never had that before. But now that it's here and that there's a private equity firm that can make a ton of money from it, from selling it to schools and getting a percentage of their grants, now it's a necessary tool for education, now that there's money to be made off of it.
That's what iReady is for.
Slide point D, 2 units down.
The program is a mix of math and reading.
You click it.
And also offers supplemental games like this one where students decorate cupcakes.
And now time to meticulously click all the sprinkles.
What is...
John
How is that
Alamoya
educational?
Finishing 8th grade in the LA Unified School District, where most students are required to do up to 90 minutes a week on the program. He's now one of iReady's most vocal
That's
critics.
quite a bit.
A few of his friends came over, and I asked the whole group, what do you guys think of iReady? It was met with this chorus of furious boos.
And they're not alone. NBC News has spoken to more than 30 parents, educators, students, and administrators nationwide about their issues with the program. Teachers describe an array of concerns, including that they can't go back and see students' individual work behind their screens.
Here's a lesson.
Yeah, because it's all submitted through the software.
5%. I can't go back and review it.
And also that it cuts into valuable lesson time.
I skip fun stuff. We do fewer examples. They get less practice.
Altair Maine teaches high school in North Hollywood, part of LA Unified.
Yeah, because
He says
it's a
he loses
computer
students for
system.
more than a week every year
Software
during
is
testing.
not a replacement for education.
The district needs some kind of way to know where students land, and they need some kind of standardized test.
I absolutely agree with that. I think the problem is a matter of degree and a matter of incentives. I don't think there's any value to something that takes up 6 days of instructional time.
So what is the evidence that you have that this program that iReady
Works.
is really working?
The evidence base is large. We're talking quasi-experimental studies, longitudinal studies.
Stop. I gotta go back. I gotta go back and see. We're gonna go back 10 seconds. All right. Fuzzy mustache, man.
It's something that takes up 6 days of instructional
Let's just
time.
listen to how stupid what his answer is for why we need this program in schools.
iReady is really working.
The evidence base is large. We're talking quasi-experimental studies, longitudinal studies.
Quasi-experimental studies, longitudinal studies. He doesn't even... Quasi-experimental studies. Why do we need software from a private equity firm in a third of all public schools in America? I can't remember what he just said. It's so stupid. Quantiphysio studies? What the hell did he just say? It's nothing. He just said absolute trash.
Third-party research, our students show stronger reading and math outcomes.
But critics say those studies are limited in scope and some are not peer-reviewed, not to mention the distraction of
Unbelievable.
being on a device.
You're always one swipe away from an infinite scroll of other more entertaining things.
Justin Reich is an associate professor at MIT who studies EdTech programs.
Why do you think iReady has become so ubiquitous at school districts across the country?
Boy, that's a mystery to me, because when I glance at it, it doesn't strike me as a particularly compelling use of technology or use of students' time.
Yeah, it seems
Revolt Against
awful.
iReady is part of a growing parent-led movement to get kids off screens and back to pen and paper learning. Just last month, LA Unified voted to restrict screen time for students and to audit the $20 million 5-year contract with iReady. But the district tells NBC News iReady is part of an approach that's resulted in meaningful academic progress, adding test scores are up.
But you
overall
don't
classroom
have
screen
any
time
data
remains
to
low,
support
with iReady's
that.
contract costing less than
How can you
$10
say
per
it's
student per
meaningful
year.
if
Some
you
other school
have
districts
no
across the
data to
country
prove
also
it?
praising iReady.
This program comes at it from what do you need to know in order to solve this problem and how does it work?
Meanwhile, back in LA, John Allen Wooden opted his son out of iReady entirely.
How has it been since opting out of iReady for you?
Very freeing.
A battle over the future of learning playing out in classrooms right now. Liz Kreutz, NBC News.
Yeah, this is nothing more than schools that are getting some kind of financial incentive for using the program. They're getting something out of it. That's why it's become ubiquitous. It's not because it works. It's because they have a finance. It's the only reason why any school does anything is for a financial incentive. So they have some kind of financial incentive for using that program. In exchange for getting that, they guarantee a contract with the company that runs the software over however many, 20 million over 5 years. So, and on top of which, I'm sure there's somebody at that company who's saying, listen, you don't have to hire as many teachers. You don't need substitutes. You can save a lot of money using our garbage software. I guarantee you someone is playing that line out there. This is solutionism at its finest. This is why we continuously score in the lowest categories in science and math and language and arts and just everything across the board. It's why every country is beating us now. And this is also a great example of solutionism in terms of I have several family members who are school teachers, and I have one of them who tells me that in public schools now, they have so many different pieces of software that they use for everything in a kid's day. When they originally went from, we don't want to have schools where it's nothing but computers and software and all this stuff. Now, at this school in the state of New York, they have software that requires a child to sign into the software and submit a request through the software to go to the bathroom. So you can no longer just raise your hand and say, can I go to the bathroom? You have to use this piece of software in order to file a request to do it. That is solutionism at its finest. That is taking something that requires no answer, because there is no problem, and making a dumbed down, more complicated answer to that. Why? And I told him, I know exactly why your school is using it. Because that software was included in a bundle of software that was sold to your school through a contract, and the part of the contract is you have to use all the software included. You can't just use a piece or two of it. You have to use all the software that's included into the package, and that's one of them. And it's ridiculous. Like, there is no one in the world who can justify to me that the answer to a kid going to the bathroom, instead of raising their hand and asking their teacher to go to the bathroom, is filling out a request through an app. And I heard some people be like, well, you know, there's some big city schools and there's a lot of kids and sometimes they cause problems in the bathroom. They get into a lot of trouble. And I'm like, no more than any generation of kid that's ever come before them. Like, what kind of generation like, what kind of problems are they getting into now that they weren't getting into 10 years ago when they had to raise their hand? Like, what kind of school are you running that your students can't be trusted to go to the bathroom and take a piss? Like, all hell is going to break loose unless they use the software. No, it's trash. It's all money. It's garbage incentive for the sake of money.